Hey, my mate. Lovely to meet you, and thanks for a really lekker day, a really cool morning. Had a lot of fun, a little bit slow, but a lot of fun. And yeah, I mean, obviously, with a really dodgy set of golf clubs on a very difficult golf course. Yeah, you did great there, mate. So well done. Hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, my thoughts, right? So obviously, I've sent you those swing analysis videos. All right. So these are my thoughts, right? So I think this happens very often. Obviously, you're naturally sort of gifted a good cricket or whatever. So your footwork and your hand-eye coordination and your hand action and stuff's quite good, so you can hit the ball well. But I think, and to be fair, no, even some coaches miss this. But just the fundamental idea of what you're trying to do, you just miss somewhere along the line, right? So what I want you to understand, and maybe it'll then make more sense once you look at your videos again and my notes, right? What I want you to understand, right, is that the golf swing is a circle, right? So the club head makes a circle around our body, okay, and that intercepts the golf ball, right? So always try and think about and visualize and imagine a tilted circle. That's your golf swing there. Okay, all right. So that's also going to sort of put into perspective and explain a lot of the things you want to work on. All right. Okay. So just take a look at a couple of videos here quickly. All right. So cool graphics there, and obviously that can show us, well, that everyone's sort of swing circle is a little bit different, but that the golf swing works on a circle. And you can see those guys there, obviously good players and top players in the world. All right, are swinging, and this is what I want you to understand. Okay, in square in, not into out. Okay, you're getting sort of focused in with this sort of into out feel or idea. All right, and it's actually not helping you at all. All right, especially with irons. All right, but it's not helping you at all. All right, okay. So I'll get to the irons in a second. But once you figure out that the golf swing is more of a circle, and this is true, and you're going to think of it more as a mental thing, but this is true because when you make a more committed path, and you like swing at the golf ball and you don't try to control it so much, you hit much better shots. And the reason for that is when you get through and around, your body pulls the club a little bit more around your body to the left, which in your mind is terrible because you're thinking, well, I need to swing into out and I don't have enough extension, so anything going this way is bad. Okay, but actually, as soon as you do swing a little bit this way, okay, you hit much better shots. Okay, because that's not where the issues arise. Okay, so your swing plan and sequencing is, particularly your sequencing, is better than I thought it was, sort of watching with the naked eye. So that extension here is great, and then that use of the legs to generate that sequence and that force and load up some energy, really cool. I do think in general, and I don't think it's a huge physical thing, I do think in general, okay, we can get a slightly bigger shoulder turn. Okay, that shoulder turn just stops. Okay, although you have great extension and good set. Okay, I just think you can finish that shoulder turn. Always trying to work on 90 degrees for your full shots. Okay, so that means 90 degrees. You turn behind the golf ball. You're not moving laterally. If you just turn on the spot, your shoulder will go behind the golf ball. You tend to stop about here somewhere. Okay, but that's the kind of thing for later on, right? So the big issues are setup is fantastic, really good attention to detail, whatever. The big issues are that on that circle, that club face just opens up so quickly. Okay, you've got to imagine the circle, right? And the idea is keeping the face square to the circle. So your face position must be somewhere there, all right? Then when you come back with that good sequencing, you can see in those videos your swing path is actually quite good from the inside. But the problem is the face is so wide open. Okay, so your positions you're trying to get into are much more like that and less like that. Okay, once you do that, then you're going to be able to So instead of there, then you're going to be able to release the club later, all right? Then you'll have the extension that you're talking about. Okay, if the face is open and you're having to stall your body and try and flick the club, then obviously that left arm is going to collapse. Okay, so you're looking at, on a video or something, you're looking at a symptom, okay, and you've missed the actual real cause of it. All right, so it's predominantly face issues, okay? So we've got to learn how to keep that face as square as possible. It's going to feel really shut to you, and learn what is shut. Okay, my face is a little bit shut. Learn what is shut. Shut is okay. All right, and then you'll figure out where neutral is. Okay, and that for you goes for particularly the takeaway. All right, but takeaway and downswing. Okay, don't be scared to square that club. I said to you a 9 where you try to square it a bit earlier. Much better pass at the golf ball. All right, so these are the things you've got to learn. Right, then from there you'll learn that it's okay, I can exit there. I can have full extension. Right, but I exit on the circle. So in to in with full extension and with a strong club face. That's the idea, okay? Easier said than done, obviously, but that's the idea. Okay, right, then your biggest work, right, so mostly club face work, right? Everything else looking pretty good. Right, then your biggest work has got to be done from this angle. Right, so once again, if the golf swing is a circle, what we're trying to figure out and learn how to control is our low point. Right, and now depending on your speed and your angle of attack and the club you've got, generally the low point apart from driver, okay, is slightly ahead of the golf ball. That's what we want. So we want to catch ball turf. Ball first, then the turf. Right. Sometimes right at the ball, and then obviously driver on the start of the upward arc, upward journey. Okay. So if I stand there, there's neutral, quite narrow but neutral. Okay. So as soon as I go wider, my low point moves back. As soon as I add back tilt, my low point moves back. This is back tilt, by the way. Okay. So with driver, when you go wide and add back tilt, awesome. That angle of attack and time to square the club face is going to be brilliant. But if you do it with an iron, you're going to keep hitting behind that golf ball all the time, which is basically exactly what you did. Okay, all right, so wedges, sort of lob wedge, sand. Now, I'm not talking about lob wedge around the green, to about 60 meters. Yeah, again, it's also why you just don't hit the ball anyway. You hit that sand wedge like full out, and it goes like 75. You should be comfortably able to hit that thing 100. But if you're hitting open face and behind the ball, basically it's a mini flop shot. So the harder you hit, it doesn't matter. It's going to go higher and it's going to go the same distance. Okay, so these are the things you need to start understanding. Right? Okay, so the wedges, 60, 56, 52 if you have one, and pitching wedge. Okay, very, very narrow. Okay, and shoulders level. So not wide and not tilted. Right? Very, very narrow, shoulders level. That's what you want to do. Okay, from there, do what you're doing and just figure out where that low point is going to be close. Right, little bit of open face with the wedge is not the worst thing in the world, so you don't have to worry about the face so much with the short clubs. Okay, so start off by practicing literally with your feet together and see how well and how far you can hit it with your feet together. Then you can go a little bit wider as you go. And you should settle down somewhere there with your wedges. And then as you get into 8 irons, you can maybe go a bit wider and so on and so forth. All right, so just figure that out. Okay? And then from there, you can do a little bit of towel drill as well. Okay, so I've got an 8 iron here. About a club and a half is good. You can get to a point where a club head is enough. All right? And then we're going to get the stance much narrower and the ball position middle for now. If it ends up going 8 iron to there, that's fine. But no more than that. Okay, it's just way, you like this. Okay, and then wondering why you hit behind the golf ball. Okay, I hope it kind of makes sense, and now you can go, oh, obviously I'm hit behind that. That's what I'm hoping. You can visualize. Okay, but that's what you're trying to do. Okay, all right. So understand the circle, how to change or control, try to control your low point. All right, but how much your setup, okay, and your spine angle or your back tilt plays a part in that. Okay, now at first, obviously being there, you're going to feel like you're a little bit over the top. You might even get a little bit over the top on 1 or 2 of them. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, as you add in rotation and as you soften out the hands a little bit for a later release, okay, then the swing plane will come back or it'll be close and you can always just fiddle with it a little bit later on. Okay, so that's where I need you to work. All right, Stance with ball position, back tilt for the irons. Okay, even more so with the wedges. Start figuring out that low point. Okay, make these free passes at the golf ball to control things. All right, so don't try and control things here. Okay, make free passes with your good leg work and your good sequencing, and then adjust accordingly. You'll start to feel when you're there and hitting behind the golf ball. Okay, now that you're more aware of it and now visually you've seen it. Okay, and then obviously through the bag when you're working, so you're going to kind of work a couple of sets this way and then a couple of sets this way, all about club face. Get that club face as closed as you can for now, both in the takeaway and on the downswing. All right, but have that fundamental idea that the golf swing is a circle. You're not trying to swing into out. That's going to make club face and back tilt worse. Okay, not better. All right. Do like a play. You're going to hit some really unbelievable shots. If the control and the direction is out, then it's a little bit of timing. It could be swing plane. Okay, we won't know, but you can't manipulate it and move it like what you're trying to do. What we're trying to do is make a circle with a square club face, in, square, in. Okay, intercept the ball just before the low point or with the driver just after the low point. Okay, that is how we're trying to play the game. Okay, from there, your sort of instincts for the game and your routines and your mental stuff and the physical stuff is all really, really good. So then you can now take advantage of all of that stuff. Okay, putting seems decent as well. Good routines, good thought processes, good attention to detail, decent green reading. Okay, so that stuff can all pay off if you do this fundamental stuff correctly. Alrighty, okay. I'm sure I'll chat to you over the upcoming days as well and stuff. But thanks again for a lekker day. Those are my thoughts, okay. Let me know if you have any questions or whatever. Always here to help. Okay, and yeah, we'll chat soon. Thanks, mate.